guys, it's Girl7 here, and in today's video we're going to talk about the top 10 rarest shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Go. You could probably argue that all shiny Pokemon are rare, but some are definitely more rare than others, so let's go ahead and get into the list. Number 10 is Shiny Phoebus. So just a few months ago we had a special limited research event featuring Shiny Phoebus. So basically the way that you could get this shiny is from completing field research tasks within a 3-hour window, and if you were lucky you could get a Shiny Phoebus from those. But if you ended up not getting a Shiny Phoebus like myself, it is super hard to get it in Pokemon Go because it's not really a common spawn in the game for pretty much anyone in any biome. So if you didn't get a Shiny Phoebus during the limited research day, you probably still don't have one. So it's like me, like I've only seen a couple of Phoebus since that event ended, so it's probably not going to happen for me. I'm probably never going to find a Shiny Phoebus unless there's some other kind of event where you can get it. So I guess Phoebus is number 10 on the list because it was part of an event and the shiny rates were boosted during that event, but it was just for 3 hours, and then after that, like I said, it's pretty much impossible to get, or at least it seems that way. At number 9 we have Shiny Sandshrew. So the thing I've noticed about Shiny Sandshrew is a lot of people don't live in biomes where Sandshrew spawns. So you have to be really lucky and live in an area where you see Sandshrew a lot. If you don't, you're probably not going to get the shiny. Like guys, I can't remember the last time I actually seen a Sandshrew in the wild. Even with the sunny weather boost with ground type spawning, I never see this Pokemon. So the chances of me getting a Shiny Sandshrew is very low unless we have some sort of ground type event where they make ground type spawn a lot and Sandshrew is showing up in my area. But a lot of people complain about this one because they don't see it enough to get the shiny. You can actually get a Shiny Sandshrew from completing certain field research tasks, but you have to be lucky enough to get that task in the first place, and then you have to get lucky enough for it to be a shiny. So this one is pretty hard to come by. I've noticed a lot of people complaining about this one, so that's why it's number 9 on the list. At number 8 we have Shiny Ghastly and Shiny Misdreavus. Shiny Ghastly and Shiny Misdreavus are two of the most sought after shinies in Pokemon Go, and I definitely know why, because you guys know I love my ghost types. So they're both on the same spot of the list because I've noticed they have kind of like the same rarity in Pokemon Go. So I see Misdreavus everywhere I go, and I think it's because I live in a biome where Misdreavus spawns. But I never see Ghastly in the wild anymore. Like for the past couple of years in Pokemon Go, I never see Ghastly in the wild. So I feel like it's more of a biome thing. Maybe some people live in a place where Ghastly spawns a lot, and then some people live in a place where Misdreavus spawns a lot. So it's kind of like just depending on where you live. This is number 8 on the list. Shiny Ghastly is super hard to come by. The best way to get it is through field research tasks. That's pretty much the only time I ever see Ghastly in the game. And like I said, Misdreavus is common for me, but I've noticed it's not very common for other people, so that's why it's on the same spot as Ghastly. At number 7 we have Solrock and Lunatone. So Solrock and Lunatone actually just came out in Pokemon Go as a part of the Pokemon Go Spring and Autumn Equinox event. So everybody was really hyped to have our first ever shiny regional Pokemon in Pokemon Go, but everyone was sort of bummed out because they're literally not spawning anywhere. They're really hard to find. They're spawning a little bit more frequently during this Equinox event, but not as much as they really should be. So they're just really hard to find in the wild, period. And then you have to get lucky enough to find a shiny. And I'm pretty sure the shiny odds for Solrock and Lunatone are the same as all other wild Pokemon, so it's really hard to find a shiny of these. If you do have a shiny Solrock or Lunatone at this point, I'm super jealous. I've only seen a handful of Solrock since this Equinox event started. And if you guys don't know, you can actually only get one or the other at a time. So right now in the hemisphere I live in, we can get Solrock but not Lunatone, and then the other hemisphere can get Lunatone and not Solrock. So that makes these shinies even more rare. Like the chances of me ever getting a shiny Lunatone are pretty low unless I trade with somebody for one, but honestly it's just as low almost to get a shiny Solrock, or at least it seems that way. At number 6 we have Shiny Baby Pokemon. So these are some of my favorite shinies to hunt in Pokemon Go, and honestly if you end up getting an egg that has a certain baby Pokemon in it that can be shiny, the odds of it being shiny are actually pretty good. I think it's like 10%. So it's pretty easy to get a shiny baby Pokemon in that sense. Like let's say you get a 7-kilometer egg that has a Pichu in it. That Pichu has a 10% chance of being shiny. But the thing is, it's really hard to hatch eggs in Pokemon Go for some people because incubators are so expensive. Honestly, if I didn't have a channel, I probably wouldn't hatch eggs as much as I do. So people that aren't hatching a lot of eggs don't really get shiny baby Pokemon very often. And another thing is the egg has to actually have a Pokemon in it that can be shiny. So let's say you get a 7-kilometer egg that has a Tyro Tyrogue in it. Well, that one's basically useless because Tyrogue can't be shiny yet in Pokemon Go. So you have to actually get an egg that has a Pokemon that can be shiny in it, and then you have a 10% chance of getting the shiny. So you could kind of say the odds are good, but at the same time, you just got to keep hatching. It's not really the easiest thing. I've hatched a lot of shiny baby Pokemon, but I hatch 7-kilometer eggs like every single day, guys. I hatch a batch of 7-kilometer eggs, like a batch of 9 every day in Pokemon Go, and I have like 5 or 6 shiny babies to show for. I know that sounds crazy, but you got to think how much money I spend on incubators, and not everybody can do that. So I basically just do it for the videos, like I said. So that's why I think the shiny baby Pokemon are kind of rare. At number 5, we have shiny raid bosses. Some examples would be Alolan Marowak, Alolan Raichu, Absol, Mawile, and Shinx. So raid bosses have higher shiny rates than wild Pokemon, but the thing is, you can't just randomly go out and check these Pokemon. You have to wait for the raids for them to show up, and raids are completely random in Pokemon Go, so you just never know when you'll have a chance at getting these shinies. Like for me, I never get to do Alolan Marowak raids or Absol raids, so I don't have either of those shinies yet, and the same thing kind of goes for Alolan Raichu as well. So you just have to wait for these raids to show up, so that makes them kind of rare. At number 4, we have some event-exclusive shiny Pokemon such as Witch Hat Pikachu, Santa Hat Pikachu, and Shiny Delibird. The reason these shiny Pokemon are considered so rare is because each of them were only available for like a week or so. So if you didn't get it in that week, then that was it. It makes it really hard to hunt a shiny when it's only available for a very short amount of time, but that also makes them more special. At number 3, we have some more exclusive event shiny Pokemon, but these were around for only 2 days each. First, we have Party Hat Pikachu, then we have Fragment Hat Pikachu, and then we have Flower Crown Pikachu and Flower Crown Eevee. So all of these shinies are very rare for the same reason as the last spot on the list, except for these were only available for 2 days at a time, and that's it. So these are very limited time shinies, and not many people have these. You had to get really lucky to get these shinies in that 2-day window. I know I was hunting so hard for those, especially the Flower Crown Eevee and Pikachu, and didn't have any luck. So they're really hard to get, and anybody that does have a shiny, congratulations to you, because they are some of the rarest shinies in the game. At number 2, we have Shiny Witch Hat Pichu. This one is so rare because it was only available for a little bit over a week during the Halloween 2018 event, and you had to hatch it from an egg. That's the only way to get Pichu in the game, and that was the only way to get the Witch Hat Pichu. So I don't even think I hatched a Witch Hat Pichu throughout the entire event, and definitely not a shiny. So this is one of the rarest in the game just because it was very exclusive and it had to be hatched. Before we talk about the rarest shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Go, let's cover some honorable mentions. Some of the shiny Pokemon that didn't quite make the list would be shiny legendary Pokemon such as Ho-Oh, Lugia, Groudon, Kyogre, and Latios. The reason these shinies didn't quite make the list is because legendary raid bosses have pretty good shiny rates, and it seems like legendary raids show up more often than random lower tier raids. So they didn't quite make the list with the shiny raid boss category. And some of these legendary Pokemon have returned multiple times, such as Kyogre and Ho-Oh and Lugia. And Ho-Oh and Lugia can actually be found in the research breakthrough boxes right now in Pokemon Go. So I felt like they didn't really fit anywhere on the list, but they're definitely some cool shinies to have anyways. And now it's time for the number 1 rarest shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Go. It is Party Hat Pichu. So this one is kind of like the Witch Hat Pichu. It's super rare because it was only available for a very short amount of time. But the thing about Party Hat Pichu is that it was only available for 2 days. So not only did you have to get lucky enough to hatch a Party Hat Pichu in the first place, you had to get lucky enough to get a shiny one. So only a handful of people actually have this shiny in Pokemon Go. So as of now, it's kind of like held up on a pedestal at being the rarest. It actually did not make a return this year for Pokemon Day. We ended up getting the Flower Crown Pikachu instead, and we didn't even get a Flower Crown Pichu to hatch that time. So the Party Hat Pichu is definitely the rarest shiny in the game as of now, and I don't even know if they'll ever bring back the Party Hat Pichu or Pikachu in the future. So if you do have one of those, definitely hold on to it. Unless you want to trade it for something, it does have very high trading value, but honestly, I would hold on to that one forever. So that's all for my list of the rare shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Let me know in the comments down below what I missed on and what you think is the rarest shiny in Pokemon Go. I know pretty much all shinies can be considered rare, so I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel to join my Gengar gang, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!